So we're out in front of the provincial courthouse of British Columbia with Neil Magnuson. Neil, could you tell us what's going on and maybe just let people know that the stream from yesterday was taken down by Facebook? You were definitely there. The protest was happening.
Yesterday's THC show is not available apparently. We don't know why, but it has been taken down. This is round 4 of how corrupt is the government, and we're going to find out. This is supposed to be more than just setting of dates now. We're into a different courtroom. There could be an arraignment, and maybe that means they have to justify their reasons for wanting to bring us into the court. And
so if someone is joining you, say, for the very first time, they've never seen you before, could you give them the quickest version as to what you're doing in front of this courthouse?
Well, for more than the last half decade, we are the Cannabis Substitution Program. Have been providing an option of cannabis, especially in the form of high-dose edibles and concentrates, to get people off of the hard drugs, because it does get people through withdrawal. And now we have hundreds of people over these last 5.5 years that have gotten off those hard drugs because of our program or because of using cannabis high-dose edibles. And we've been demonstrating and proving that every day while we try to get permission from government to be able to do what we're doing in a proper way, in a dignified way, by having a storefront and a license on the wall. That process has been going on for a very long time. For the first couple of years, there was no licenses to apply for. We simply wanted support of City Council. They, after 2.5 years, passed a motion to support us unanimously, or support low barrier access to cannabis for the opioid crisis unanimously. But that did not involve actually giving us a license to operate in a storefront, because they needed to wait for Health Canada to give us their approval. And so that's what we've been waiting for over 2 years now. We've been operating our program from an RV every day, 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. We provide the option of high-dose edibles and concentrates and cannabis flowers, and do what we need to do to help the people that we've been helping for all this time. So we now have been charged. Last May 11th, the VPD, deciding that they needed to do their part in holding up Canada's laws, investigated us and charged us with selling without a license. Well, here we are on our 4th appearance at the courthouse to try to determine whether or not that should go ahead or not. The first 3 were all about setting dates and getting lawyers and all that kind of ridiculous stuff, without, I think, anybody really having a look at this at all. Today, I think they have to have a look at it, and I think once they have a look at it, they'll realize that we're here to help out in a public health emergency, and we've been demonstrating for 5.5 years how effective our program is, that it is actually the best harm reduction option that's available here during this public health emergency. And the government, in not embracing and supporting what we're doing, is allowing people to not get access and obviously die. And that's why so many people have been dying. And that's what we're here to try to fight for, is the right to have a low barrier access community cannabis store where people can walk in with some dignity and get what it is that they need to get off the hard drugs or whatever it is they need it for, without having to pay outrageous, artificially inflated prices that are being put to us with legalization in these government stores, where all these ridiculous restrictions and regulations on what is just a plant, but is maybe even a plant that's less dangerous and more beneficial than any of the other plants that farmers bring to market. No reason for regulations and restrictions that keep the price up to where it was even higher than when Prohibition was happening. This is all just a farce, and we're here to fight for real legalization, which would be low barrier access, stores that have affordable cannabis in all of its different forms for whatever Canadians want to use it for. Hell, you can buy whiskey, tequila, bleach, gasoline, pesticides, white sugar. All of these dangerous items are available for Canadians to go and buy if they want, but the Canadian government doesn't want you to be able to go and buy high-dose cannabis edibles because they're too dangerous, apparently. Well, they're only dangerous to pharmaceutical companies and the bottom lines of some greedy corporations. And that's what this is about. This is profits over people that we're fighting. This is not us on trial here. This is the federal government that's on trial for being delinquent and derelict in their duties to actually permit, allow, and support what are the proper harm reduction measures that are coming forward during this public health emergency.
All right, well, we'll bid you adieu, and we'll catch up with you outside the courthouse. Thank you.
Very good.
All right, so just finished court. Neil, we're back at the RV. What's the scoop?
Well, they didn't call it off yet, so that's more wasted tax dollars down the road. We're going back on the 12th, which should give time for our lawyer Jack to talk to the Crown and see if they can decide what to do about this. But yeah, we were in court for basically an hour and a half, just wasting everybody's time, wasting taxpayers' money, and continuing on with this farce for another couple of weeks, and we'll see where it goes from there.
All right, so just a reminder for everyone, what is the date and time in case they want to come down to the courthouse and support you?
Yeah, it'll be at courtroom 102 at 9:30 in the morning on October the 12th, and more of trying to decide whether or not they want to actually go to trial on this charge of selling cannabis without a license.
All right, well, thank you very much, Neil.